guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a hair extension Q&A video, and a lot of the questions that I do get asked are about hair extensions, and I've tried out so many different types of hair extensions. I've done loads of hair extension videos as well, and a lot of the questions that I do get asked are repeated as well, so I felt like the best thing for me to do was to do a hair extension Q&A video for you. Now what I've done is I've gone back on my old videos, and I did do a Q&A video around 2 years ago, so I've gone back on my old videos and all of the questions from then onwards I have answered them in this video for you. So if you do also have any other questions, just comment down below to let me know, and I'll be sure to answer those. And if I do get loads of questions, then I will be doing another Q&A video as well for you. I'm a qualified hair extension stylist, and also I've been doing my own extensions for around 4 to 5 years now, so I feel like I can give you a really good answer. I can give you a professional answer and also a personal opinion as well on my own experience. And if you're wondering which hair extensions I'm wearing the same ones that I wore in my last hair extension video, which was my DIY how to install and remove micro ring hair extensions, and I will link that down below for you so you can check that out. I go in a little bit more detail about my extensions and also how to put them in and also how to remove them, and these are from yourhairshop.com. They're number 30 and they haven't been dyed as well, and I've had these in my hair for around 5 months now. I put them in at the end of October, so they've lasted a very long time. Also, if you want to check out the rest of my hair extension videos, I will link the playlist down below for you so you can check all of those out as well. So I do have quite a few questions to go through, and I'm going to try and answer them as best as I can, and hopefully this video isn't going to be too long. So the first question that I have is from Kerry Taff, and she says, your hair looks great. I do have one question. When installing, is all of your hair used in extensions, or do you leave some of your hair out at regular points? So when I do extensions, I do this on clients, I do this on my own hair, and I was also taught this on my hair extension course as well. So you always want to make sure that you leave a line of hair at the bottom so you can't see the extensions if you have your hair up. Then you do a line of extensions, then you leave out some more hair, not too much hair, just so it can cover over the extensions. So if you do have a half up and half down hairdo, then you can also cover up those extensions and you can't see them. So that's what I always do. So you do leave out a line of your hair, then do a line of the extensions, leave out your hair again, and just follow the process until you finish your hair. She also has another question, and she says, what thickness are the extensions you have? I have really fine hair and I'm looking to increase volume, but I don't want them to be too heavy. What would you recommend? I think I'm going for nano bead extensions. So these extensions are 0.5 grams. I do have normal hair, and if you do have thin to normal hair, I definitely recommend that you get 0.5 grams. These are half the size of the ones that I used to get, and I noticed a very big difference with these. I can't feel them tugging at my hair, they don't hurt my hair. Even when I wash my hair, they don't hurt, and when I sleep, they don't hurt. I literally can't feel them on my hair. And Liv Gallagher says, what type of extensions would be best for really thin hair? So if you have thin hair, I don't recommend that you really get extensions if you have really thin hair. I'd recommend you doing a test run. So basically you put a micro ring in, or you put a keratin bonded extension in, and you put a couple of them in underneath your hair. See how you're going to feel throughout a couple of days. Make sure that you wash your hair with them as well, just so you can see if they're tugging at your hair or anything like that, because you don't want to have bald patches. You also want to make sure that your hair doesn't break off as well. It has to be really healthy, otherwise your hair can break off and then the extensions will fall out and then you'll ruin your hair, and it just wouldn't really be any point. But if you do have really good hair, then I do recommend that you get keratin bonded or micro ring extensions. Always get the 0.5 gram extensions because they're the best ones for your hair. They won't put too much pressure on as well, and they just look a lot better as well, especially if you have thin hair, because you don't want a really thick load of hair coming down here. With the keratin bonded ones, I think they are a little bit better because you can't even see the bonds, and if you do have your hair up, you don't want to see any bonds or any beads or anything like that. So I do think that keratin bonded are probably the best, but if you don't want to go for glue-in extensions, then I definitely recommend micro rings as well. Erin Lovett says, how long did the installation take you? And this was when I did these hair extensions, so it took me around 8 hours in total, just because I wasn't constantly doing my hair extensions. I did around an hour and a half, 2 hours, then I'd have a break for a couple of hours and go out with my family, come back to my hair extensions and go out again. So I probably took around 2 or 3 breaks in between doing them, so it did take me 8 hours in the end. But if I don't have any breaks, it usually takes me between 2.5 to 4 hours, depending on how quick I am, because I haven't done my extensions in a long time, so I was a little bit out of practice, but it usually takes me between 2.5 and 4 hours to do a whole head of extensions. The next question is from Nicholai Jones. She says, how did you become a qualified extensionist? I've been trying to find courses but can't find much. So I went to Oakley Academy to do my extension course, and they were incredible. They have so many years of experience. They own their own salons as well, and they go all over the UK, and it's 2 women that taught me, and they are incredible. We only had tiny classes, courses around 7 or 8 people in the class, and they teach you if you are qualified in hairdressing, they teach you if you're not qualified in hairdressing. So there's loads of different things that you can do there as well. So they also do cutting courses, they do 2 hair extension courses with 3 different methods, and the one that I did was the micro ring, keratin bonded and shrink link, but I don't like shrink link and I haven't really used them on any clients. I think I did it on one, which was my friend, and we just tried it out and they're not very good. They're just pretty bad, so I don't recommend getting the shrink links, but they're really good and they do really good prices as well. So I definitely recommend going to Oakley Academy, because you can also get money off of your insurance as well, and money off of loads of different hair extension companies as well. You can use a coupon code and things like that and you get a little bit of money off, which is really good. The next question is from Tara Rex. She says, do you flatten the bonds or keep them round? So whenever I do keratin bonded extensions, I keep them round. That's what I was taught on my hair extension course, and I've always done that and I've never had a problem. But you do want to make sure that the top of the extension is sealed on there, because it can open up when you wet it and then it can just basically go all horrible and just completely come out your hair. So I do recommend that you make sure that the tip of the extension is definitely glued in very well and has no air bubbles. Charlotte Brett says, do you install your own keratin bonded extensions? I do install my own extensions. I've been doing them for around 4 to 5 years now, and I had keratin bonded extensions for around a year or a year and a half, and I did do them myself, and I'm actually the only person I trust to do hair extensions on myself, because I feel like if it goes wrong it's my own fault and I'm the person that damaged my hair, and I'd rather have me damage my hair than someone else damage it. But I do my own extensions. I have done them for a very long time, and I definitely recommend keratin extensions as well, because they're probably one of my favourite ones. I've never had a problem with them and I just really do like them. Jessica D says, are micro loops any good, and any recommendations on where I should get them? Okay, I don't recommend micro loop extensions. I had a very bad experience with them. I mean, they are good if you're just trying out extensions and you don't want them to last very long, but I had some problems with these. I think it's because the extension is attached to the ring anyway and you don't have any silicone in them, so they can rip out your hair, and I just don't really like them. I don't recommend them. If you do want to have micro rings, go for micro ring extensions, don't go for micro loops. But I suppose they were good because this was when micro rings and micro loops first came out when I tried them, and they were okay extensions, but they just didn't last very long. The quality of the hair extensions wasn't that good either. But I do recommend that if you want to get micro loops, go for micro rings, because even though they do take a little bit longer to do, you do get the hang of it very quickly. Belinda R. Tavares says, I've been wanting to try extensions for a long time but never got around to it. Is there a brand or style you recommend for beginners? So if you are a beginner, I definitely recommend getting the micro ring extensions. They're by far my favourite, and they won't damage your hair as well if they are done very well, and they're very quick and easy to put in, very easy to take out as well. And the brand that I recommend for beginners is probably SJK hair extensions. Now I know that their quality is a lot better now. A couple of years ago I had it and it was pretty bad, then I got it again last year and it was actually really good, and it did last me a long time. I think the hair extensions lasted around 4 months and then they started to go a little bit ratty. They aren't too expensive. I think I paid around £100 for, I'd say about 150 extensions at the time. So I do recommend them. I think they're really good for beginners, but if you do want to get some cheaper, I recommend checking out AliExpress or things like that. But I have had a bad experience with AliExpress because some of the hair is complete crap. So I think definitely going to somewhere where they do have an online store and they are recommended by other people, definitely go to them. I also recommend the place where I got these extensions from, which is yourhairshop.com. They are incredible. The only thing is they are quite expensive. I think these are around, I think around 220 including postage from America, but it only took about a week to get through, and I did get 7 packs of extensions, so I did get quite a lot, and these are by far my favourite. They've lasted a very long time, but if you are a beginner, I recommend getting SJK hair extensions. They're also based in the UK as well. Deborah Smith says, I love your videos, so much great information. I did have one question. What is the best deep conditioner for your hair? So the best deep conditioner that I found is the Moroccan Oil Deep Repair Mask. I use that all the time when I wash my hair. I think it's incredible. I did notice a very big difference when I went to America, because I didn't take it with me because I do have a tub that's about this big and it's very, very heavy, so I didn't use that in America, but I only washed my hair once. The humidity is crazy in Florida and my hair was really frizzy, and even after I washed it, it didn't look any different. But when I did get home and I used a deep repair mask, it made my hair feel so nice and soft and just moisturised, and it brought it back to life. So I do recommend the Moroccan Oil Deep Repair Mask. It's incredible. Georgina Cooper says, which one's a better, micro ring or tape? I didn't have a very good experience experience with taping extensions because they pretty much ripped out my own hair. I did do those myself. I did do a video on taping extensions, which I'll link down below for you, but I didn't like them. I thought they were horrible, and micro rings are by far my favourite extensions, and I have them in at the moment. Marianne asked, do you recommend always blow drying your extensions, or is air drying fine? So whenever I do my own hair, I do a bit of both, to be honest. I do recommend that you air dry your hair because you don't really want to put too much heat on your hair and things like that, but I do a bit of both. So basically I get out the shower and I just towel dry my hair, put on a Schwarzkopf blow drying spray, and then put on some serum, and I just leave my hair to air dry for around an hour or an hour and a half, and then I get the blow dry on my hair, and I only need it on for about 15 minutes, and then it works perfectly. And yeah, I haven't noticed any problems with my hair extensions or anything like that, so I do recommend doing what I do, or air dry your hair, because you'll notice a very big difference and it'll feel really nice as well. And another question is, I got these extensions about 3 weeks ago and I've just had a couple come out. What I'm wondering is, should they still have the top loop part attached when they come out? The black bead bit is still there. Will my hairdresser be able to put them back in like this? So I'm guessing this question is about micro loop extensions, and when you do micro loop extensions, the loop always comes out of it. So if you do want to redo those extensions, I recommend keeping those in a safe place. If you don't have that, you can either take the extensions off of the rings and make them into eye-tips, or you can buy a micro loop tool and you can just basically pop the extension with the ring on and then pop it in your hair, push it up and then clamp it down. Either way, it's pretty easy and pretty quick to do as well. Neb Del Rey says, I've just got mine done, what's the best brush to use? So the best brush that I think is definitely the Tangle Teaser, but I do have a dupe of the Tangle Teaser that only cost me around $2.99 in Home Bargains. Both of them are pretty much exactly the same hairbrush. I did get a micro loop brush when I did my hair extension course, and I don't like the loop brush. They don't detangle anything, and it's just basically a waste of money to me. So yeah, I don't recommend getting the micro loop brush or anything like that. I definitely recommend that you get a Tangle Teaser or a Tangle Teaser dupe, because they're pretty much the best ones that I've tried and they don't rip out my hair or my extensions. Aurora Perez says, where did you buy the hair? And this is from the Nano Ring hair extension video. So I did buy this from AliExpress. I don't recommend getting any from this seller because they are completely crap. The last time that I used them, I had so many problems with them, and it was actually on a client as well, and they refused to give me my money back. And yeah, I don't recommend getting them from them. Definitely get them from SJK Hair Extensions or get them from yourhairshop.com. Those are the best ones that I've tried, and those are the ones that I recommend. What's the minimum length your hair can be for nano extensions? So this is pretty much the same for every extension. When I put nano ring extensions in my hair, I think my hair was around here. So it was just above my collarbone. I had very short hair. I was still growing out my hair from the Frankie from the Saturdays haircut, and it just has taken a very long time. My hair still hasn't grown super long or anything like that, but it just takes a very long time. So I put my hair extensions in when my hair was around here, so just above the collarbone, and they actually look very natural. I had loads of people telling me how natural that they looked and how much they loved them. So I definitely think if you get shoulder length hair, I think that's probably the best time to put them in. But also make sure that you don't have a blunt haircut, because you're going to have the blunt hair stopping and then you're going to have the hair extensions starting, and then you can tell and it just doesn't look very good. So make sure that you do feather out the ends of your hair, and it will layer in a little bit better, and it will just look a lot better as well and a lot more natural. Sarah Davis says, I have quite thick hair and usually have a full head of pre-bonded or glue-in bonds. What would you recommend for this type of thickness in nano rings? And do you have a picture your hair used to be before you inserted it? So this is on my how to install nano ring hair extensions. On the thumbnail of this video you can see what my hair looked like before and what my hair looked like after. And for thick hair, I think nano rings would be okay, but you will need quite a lot of them, and I don't recommend nano rings just because you don't put a lot of hair in the bead, because you can't fit a lot in there, and I feel like it puts too much pressure on the hair. So I do think getting micro rings or keratin bonded would be the best extensions for you to try. Amy Fitzpatrick says, I just stumbled across your video as I'm thinking about getting nano hair extensions. I currently have micro loop extensions and find them easy to apply with a plastic loop. How hard are these to apply, especially around the back of the head where you can't really see? So when I do my extensions, I always make sure that I have a mirror in front of me and a mirror behind me so I can see what's going on. And how hard are these to apply? They're not very hard, to be honest. You just get in the swing of it. Nano rings are the same to put in as micro rings, so it does take quite a long time at the beginning, but you do get used to it pretty easily. And around the back of the head we can't really see. Like I said, just get the mirror. It is quite tricky to do, but if you keep looking in the mirror and seeing what you're doing, then you are going to do a very good job. It will take a long time, but like I said, you will get used to it. Chelsea Smith says, what hair dye did you use? And this was on how to dye my hair extensions, or it is how to install my nano ring hair extensions. I'm not too sure which one it was, but I used exactly the same hair dye as what I used to use to dye my hair at the time. That was when I had very, very dark hair, and I used the Nice and Easy in 5C Cool Brown, and basically it takes out all the copper and the red tones of the hair, and I used it for years. I used it for a very long time. It was a hair dye that I loved and worked very well on my hair, and that's one that I used. I didn't use a professional one or anything like that. It was just Nice and Easy, and it worked great, and it didn't wash out as well. Sarah ETD says, which do you prefer, micro rings or nano rings? I definitely recommend the micro rings. I don't like the nano rings because I feel like that they put too much pressure on the hair. Because the rings are so tiny, you can't put a lot of hair in the rings, and then you have a lot of hair on the extensions. So I don't recommend getting those because I just feel like they put too much pressure on the hair, and I had a little bit of a bad experience with them as well. Faye North says, do the extensions feel heavy if you have thick hair, and do they make your head itch? Fab video, by the way, super useful. Thank you very much. And the extensions, they don't feel heavy if you put enough hair in the bead of the extensions. You have to make sure that you have the correct amount of hair to the extension. I always make sure that I have the same amount of my own hair to the extension, and then I don't put any pressure on my hair. So always make sure that you do that. If you do that, then it's not going to feel heavy on the head. It might do for the first few days, just because you have new extensions in your hair, you have all this extra weight and you're not used to it. So it might take a little while to get used to, but it will stop hurting after a couple of days. And she also says, do they make your head itch? Now, these can make your head itch. Now, I noticed that when I need to wash my hair, my head itches like crazy. All around here it itches, because I only wash my hair once a week, because it's the best thing for extensions because you don't want it to lose all the moisture, and it starts itching really bad around here. When it starts itching really badly, I know that's when I need to wash my hair, and I go and wash my hair straight away. Jane Burno says, I like your reviews on extensions. I myself would like to try nano ring extensions, but I do worry about one thing. I wash my hair every day as it gets oily very quickly. I wonder how it will be if I put extensions in. If you do have oily hair, I think the best ones that I recommend would be keratin bonded extensions, just because those ones are basically stuck in the hair, and if you have oily hair, they're not going to basically stream out your hair like with micro rings. Micro rings, they can just basically fall out your hair if your hair gets super oily. But if you do want micro rings or nano rings, then use dry shampoo, because dry shampoo is your best friend when you have oily hair. Now, I use so much dry shampoo, and I use the Batiste one. I've used it for years and years, and it's the best one that I've ever tried. So definitely get some dry shampoo, because you are going to need it. I only recommend that you wash your hair the most of 2 to 3 times a week, just because it can strip all the oils out of the extensions and things like that, and you don't really want to make them too dry. And the last question is from Ilaria Matolo. She says, can you feel the rings in your hair? So like I said, you can feel the extensions in your hair for day-to-day life. If you're sleeping, if you're going around day to day, and also if you wash your hair, for the first few days you can feel it. It is a little bit painful, because obviously you have the extra length, the extra thickness, and you also have the beads, or whichever techniques that you use, you have the little things on the top of your hair. So you do have to get used to it. If it is a little bit too painful for you, then you can take some paracetamol or ibuprofen, and you should be completely fine, and it should just get all the pain away. But obviously, if you do touch your hair like this, you can feel them in your hair. You can't see them if you place them very well, but you can feel them, because obviously it's these extra little lumps in your hair that you're not used to. So after a few days, you won't be able to feel them anymore. After the 3rd day, when I first did my extensions about 4 or 5 years ago, I couldn't feel them after the 3rd day, and they just felt like my own hair. So it will take a little while to get used to, but I promise you that the pain will go away. So those are all the questions in my hair extension Q&A. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that answered all of your questions and helped you out a lot as well. And if you do have any questions, just make sure that you comment down below, and I'll be sure to answer those questions. If I do get a lot of questions, I will be doing another Q&A video as well, so I can answer all those as well for you. So make sure that you give this video a very big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye!